right, Oscar. Believe it or not, Twist, you've been listening to pre-recorded episodes for a long time.
Get shat on.
For a long time.
We've been pre-recorded 6 months worth of podcasts.
Yeah.
We're finally back. That topical bit that we're probably going to cut for time. We're topical.
We're topical again.
Get the newspaper. Read out the date.
Wednesday, the 5th of October. 8:41 p.m.
That's right. We're back.
We are back.
Topical.
We've
However, we did not think about actually watching a movie. It seemed like a lot of effort, and we figured we'd just catch up.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little jet lagged still.
Yeah.
It's been a week, but I'm getting back into routine. Nah, look, we've had a good time. We've worked out the best way to do this podcast is to record 6 months worth of content in just a few weeks. Make sure the content takes a steep dive in quality and our enthusiasm really passes away. And so we're at the beginning of doing that again.
Yeah, pretty much. But this is the start. I mean, now we've forgotten how to podcast.
Yeah.
So we're getting back into it.
I have no rapport with you. I've barely spoken to you for 6 months.
I don't like you. There's a growing resentment.
Oh
I've
my
been
God.
listening to myself chat to it. I'm like, who is this man?
There's a real chasm between us, and it's filled with all the things we didn't say to one another. And now we're going to go through the things that we watched over the last 6 months.
I love that, Carl. It's just a little catch up with just a little teaser.
It's still about movies.
Yeah.
It's still about us. It's still about you and me. It's
Yeah.
still about you, the listener.
That's right. This year we're gonna try and get some engagement. So I love you.
Well, I love you more, but we're not going to vie for affection.
We'll whisper that in your ear.
But
3, 2, 1.
Sweet I love you. Oh, sorry. I said sweet nothings, but
Yeah,
I guess
okay, that's
see,
fine.
this is why we need to write our bits. We're too off. We're not in sync.
No.
yet.
We gotta sync on up.
We've got to learn to cross the streams again.
Yeah, that's
So-
a movie reference.
So which one?
I just don't know. I just don't know.
I know, because I watched it in the last 6 months. This is Who Would Watch This?
Oh, that's right. We started 9 minutes in. My name's Oscar.
My name is Carl.
And this is Who Would Watch This?
It's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You make them earn the title.
Oh my God.
If we bring up the title of a movie and you don't want that movie to be spoiled, just have a few dashes of the fast forward until we start talking about the next movie, huh? Yeah, you do that. There's an array of movies you might like in here. Who knows? All right, go on.
All right. The Haunted Mansion. I didn't like
What
it.
the movie one? Why'd you watch that?
I was curious. I saw it as a kid. I remember Pirates of the Caribbean. I knew it was bad, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about it, but I was very, he's very hateful, and I don't think he should be redeemed. I mean, I know everyone wants to hear the plot to the Haunted Mansion, so I'll say it. A realtor and his wife and children are summoned to a mansion, which they soon discover is haunted. I'm not reading anymore. You get the gist. Hijinks ensue.
He gets locked out of the mansion for a lot of the film.
He does. Wouldn't you believe it? The titular fucking thing, they're like, get him out of there.
You can't give the audience what they want.
It's horror. You got to keep suspense up. Let me in.
Eddie Murphy in the haunted front yard, in the back swamp, anywhere but the mansion.
Do you remember the movie?
Fun fact, it was the first movie I watched when Disney Plus came out.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, The Haunted Mansion? This movie's been skipping me my entire life. I love this movie as a kid. Boy, did I really focus my memories on those four heads singing and none of the rest of the film.
I was surprised. They were not a good part of the movie, but
Well, debatable. How old's Disney Plus? Have I forgotten what this film is?
No, you're right. Disney Plus. Wait, how old's Disney Plus? 2
Yeah,
years.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, I watched it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I too thought it was bad.
Yeah.
But fun. I wrote it.
Oh yeah.
I wrote it during the last. I wrote it in Florida and I wrote it in Paris.
Wow, that's a long trip then.
Yep. So it was just one of those carnival things that you sit in, and it took you right from Florida over, and you're like,
Eddie Murphy was sitting next to you the whole time.
sorry. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, did he?
He only had 1,000 words to say. Have you ever been on the ride?
No, is it a good
Oh,
ride?
have you never been on the Haunted Mansion
No.
ride? Wow. Yeah, it's a ride.
They're making a movie?
But I mean, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean's also just like wow, you really made an empire from this.
Yeah,
like,
you made, what, $4 billion?
oh my God, probably more.
Yeah,
There's 5 of those films, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because you ride that ride and you're like, huh, there's a dip occasionally.
No, I don't know, actually. The one in Shanghai.
Have you been on that one?
Maybe they had this cool bit.
What have you ridden on when you've gone to like all Disneylands, haven't you?
Not the American ones.
Right, so you've done Shanghai, Paris,
yeah, and
Japan,
and Disney Sea. You know Disney Sea.
Get out of here! You tell me Pirates of the Caribbean isn't in Disney Sea?
I don't think it was actually. No.
It's a match made in heaven. They're both water-based.
Yeah, they didn't really have much. They didn't even have like a little Mermaid.
Oh, was it like Seas in SEE? And
yeah,
it was
like
about
Seize.
sight?
It was about Seize the Day. A lot of a lot of Dead Poet Society.
That Carpe Diem ride was pretty awesome.
But the ironic thing is, you're still at Disneyland. So you're like, well, I better be at Disneyland. You know, don't want to waste the day.
That's just, you have to try and balance on a desk, and if you fall off, you lose your adulthood. What a ride. Yeah, so not a big fan of Haunted Mansion?
No.
Would you do it for the podcast?
Oh, I think it was pretty boring. That was my my main
film.
criticism. Like, there's not really much to like jab at, you know?
Yeah.
Really get at it.
Because it's one of those things where they're just like, can you make a plot out of this? And you're like, a ride? But without... I don't know, because it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean is just like, yeah, it's a ride. But they were just like, they went wild.
They went
like
wild.
Fun
For some
concepts
reason, the Haunted Mansion's like, we'll keep to the rides, you know, narrative.
Yeah.
It's like, branch out.
We don't want to undercut the source material. It's 5 minutes and near silent. Like, what do you want?
Glad we got started on the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
I'm going to go on the opposite end of the spectrum. I finally watched The Big Lebowski.
Oh my god.
The Big Lebowski. Jeffrey, the dude Lebowski, a Los Angeles slacker who only wants to bowl and drink White Russians, is mistaken for another Jeffrey Lebowski, a wheelchair-bound millionaire, and finds himself dragged into a strange series of events involving nihilists, adult film producers, ferrets, errand toads, and large sums of money.
Oh my god. Because you, for ages, have been like, the Coens are like...
They can't do comedy.
I'm like,
that was me the entire time.
I was like, you haven't seen, like, Raising Arizona or Big Lebowski. I was like,
I have not been given them a chance. I've been going off of Hail Caesar.
Didn't you watch what's it called with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah, Lady Killers.
Yeah,
I've just been burned.
Yeah,
I've just been burned by them. The Big Lebowski is a hit.
Oh, thank
I was
Christ.
like, I get it.
Yeah,
I think it's probably up there with No Country for Old Men. That's my second favorite film of theirs, I reckon.
Yeah,
is The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, 100%.
Hilarious, so well acted, so well written.
Oh, that musical number.
Oh, just so good.
So good.
One of those movies where you're like, man, they do not make mid-budget comedies like this anymore.
No, they don't.
I thought it was going to be more like we just bowl the entire film. So when it was kind of like a crime caper in amongst it too, I was like, oh, I should have known. But all their comedies have been so awful.
Oh, you've been so burned. Even like Burn After Reading is like a bit of like a, you know, kind of comedy. Whereas like,
whereas it's like, it was weird to finally see them be like, this is like the fun, broad, but like... weird nuances and things.
Exactly. But the fun, like, actually, yeah, I guess
it's
Burn
so
After
good.
Reading,
I couldn't get over how good it was.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen Raising Arizona yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I watched that for our Nicolas Cage month.
Gotcha.
And I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like one of their first ones, but Big Lebowski's like by far like.
Yeah, it was weird. Raising Arizona was like one of their first ones, and then they were like, we're great with like character drama thrillers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
They're very like, we can dip our toes in comedy and like some of the most harrowing parts of society.
Oh, absolutely. And then when they're just like, ugh, we can't choose, we'll do both. Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I want 15 minutes with each.
Yeah, give it all. He has wings. He's singing. She's killed herself.
Oh. Funny or not, you figure it out.
Yeah, is this the comedy segment or the drama segment? Oh, the Coens have done it again.
Let's go back into death. I watched The Piano Teacher.
Oh, how amazing is The Piano Teacher?
So fucking good.
Have you ever seen, and I might butcher his name, but Michael Haneke?
Yeah, I think it's similar to that. I think we're Australian. We're gonna butcher it.
Oh,
anyway.
I know, because I've definitely been corrected because I called him Michael Hanky for a long time. And somebody was like, it's actually it's like when somebody corrected me on I was like Sinadoche, New York, and they were like, it's Sindiki.
I think I might be wrong. I think it's Sinek.
No, you've been pronouncing it right.
I have been.
Yeah, because I'm at I met somebody and they were like, no, you're the idiot, Carl. And I was like, because I said Syndicki or whatever. It's like I tried to correct it to midway to what you were correcting me to, and they were like, it's this. And I was like, but my friend Oscar said it was that. And I'm like, so what's your opinion on Michael Hankey? It's just like, it's Hanek or something like that. So, have you seen any of his movies before? Or is this your first time?
No, I think it's the first one. Did he make Funny Game and then remade it again in English? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen either of those two.
Which
but
one
I have
you
seen
You've seen
Cachet.
Yep.
Which is hidden in English.
Mm-hmm.
The White Ribbon and a more.
Nice.
The man doesn't have a comedy bone in his body.
Okay, so just for those people that don't know what the piano teacher's about, I mean the the plot's not really like it's about a piano teacher. She's sexually repressed, and she's living with her mother, and meets a young man who starts romantically pursuing her.
I think what's really good about that film is it's a lot of concepts that I don't think I've seen depicted in film before.
How so? Which parts?
I think the sexually repressed stuff is like really, really well handled in that film. And it's just like, is it French or Dutch or something? Oh, I don't want to say the wrong nationality.
Yeah,
but
it makes us look like
it's a foreign film.
Nailed it. This international flick, you gotta check it.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those ones where they're just like, our cinema's like not Americanized, so we're used to these topics. And I was like, huh?
Oh my god, they're not young, dumb, and fun. I'm gonna kill myself.
I think I might have even talked about the piano teacher on this podcast when I watched it.
Maybe, yeah. And I was like, who? Hanky, get me out of here. I don't care about what he has to say.
Mr. Hanky from South Park, and then we did a fun bit on poo. You got to pursue any more of his films?
I think so. But when am I in the mood? When are you coming home from work? That's the problem. I feel like you have to be a bit unemployed to enjoy film.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't be
I think you have to be a bit manic depressive.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm not going to enjoy the White Ribbon's one of my friend's favorite films, and I was like, I can't see myself getting through that movie. And he was like, it's on at the cinema, come and watch it. And I guarantee you I wouldn't have made it through it. Yeah. It's just like slow and sinister. And it's also, you've got to know a little bit about history for it.
I love a bit of history. Hit me. What time period?
So well, I don't know, because maybe it's spoiled. I don't know, because I didn't know about history, and he was like, it's great when it was about this. And I was like, oh, okay.
Which war?
Oh, it's genius.
Which is it a war?
I think it's the second, maybe the first, if not the civil, or the Vietnam.
Okay, gotcha. So big, like, sort of Forrest Gump vibes. We're going everywhere.
This ribbon's edited into lots of scenes across time.
It's harrowing. What does the ribbon get up to?
It's the feather of its own movie.
Yeah, no, I just absolutely fucking loved it. I mean, loved it's a bit of a... It's definitely up there.
It's up there with like Requiem for a Dream. Some of these other ones where I'm like, God, that's just an incredible film.
Yeah.
I will not watch that for a long time.
No.
But it'll stay with me.
It stays with you. I'm like, fuck, I gotta revisit it. I'm like, do I? Yeah. It's hit me in the face like a ton of bricks.
And then he does it every time.
God.
You're like, man, he can't top this. And then he's like, I did. It's more awful. And you're like, oh, okay. You're like, I think even less of society now. And do you trust people? I hope not. Even your loved one's terrible. That's Amor is just like, love. Let's ruin that for everyone. Like, I don't want to be old.
Yeah.
That movie was just like, that movie did more for old people than that movie Old did for old people.
And Old did a lot for old people.
Old did a lot for old people.
Yeah. Killed them in the cinema when they thought it was not old.
You know, you're thinking of that movie Young Guns with Emilio Estevez.
Oh, they're always trying to get into that movie. They just can't get in.
I'm going to talk about Grosse Pointe Blank. Have you seen this one?
I've not heard of that.
Do you not know this one? I thought this was a bunch of fun, and I didn't think it was good, but I think it's ripe for like a remake. Yeah, so this is a John Cusack movie, and he actually came out. I think he's a writer on it as well. But this is the plot. Martin Blanc is a hitman for hire. When he starts to develop a conscience, he botches a couple of routine jobs. On the advice of his secretary and his psychiatrist, he decides to attend his 10-year high school reunion in Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
Tight.
And it was like a fun one of like this hitman just going to his high school reunion.
Yeah.
And everybody being like, what do you do now? And he's like, well, I kill people. And everybody interprets it in a completely different way. Like they're just like, oh, you went to war. And it's just like some of them, but it's like he says it in euphemisms and things like that. But on top of it, it's like a rom-com as well.
Oh my God.
And then like, oh no, it's just like a big fun romp and a really good setting for like a hitman. He's like got to do a job in his hometown and that's why he goes back.
Oh man. Okay.
So he's just like, oh, and then it's like he botches that job and then the guy like, and then there's other assassins after him. But it's like a low budget, almost probably only has the budget of like Ferris Bueller or something like that. So
that's fantastic. Who's the main serial killer? Did you say it was
John Cusack?
John Cusack. He produced and like directed or something like that.
Yeah, so it's John Cusack, Minnie Driver, Dan Aykroyd, Joan Cusack, the Alan Arkin, Hank Azaria, Jeremy Piven. The Pivs.
Oh my God, the Pivs.
The Pivs is in it. The Alan Arkin's the psychiatrist who is doing it against his will. And it's just, I don't care what happens to you. He's like, you threatened to kill me if I told anyone you were a hitman. He's like, I just want to be evaluated. I felt bad when I killed that guy the other day. Like, it's got like a lot of things where you're like, oh, if this was, because it feels a bit dated now. But it's like, man, I would love them to do another one of this.
Oh, fantastic.
So seek that out. Good fun.
Oh, Carl, I watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, no fooling?
Correct.
What's the plot of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Okay, classic Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Butch is what's it called? Robert Redford. He's just like a sick cowboy.
Yeah.
And then Paul Newman's kind of the leader. They rob a bank. It all goes terribly wrong. They're on the run. The cool thing about this film is, I feel like it just like what it's like the 60s. Just like they're like, let's just take our time. Essentially, about an hour of the film is them being just chased by this like mysterious like cowboy who's like chasing them through a desert. And that's most of the film. Just them trying to outrun. They do all this like fun stuff with like jumping on other horses, trying to get away from all this stuff. And it still like follows them. And finally they like get away from it. I won't spoil how. But that's like 2/3 of the movie. Like, what else do we have? They're like, let's go to a random city and just start doing it all again. And it's pretty much just like, look at them. They're so sick. They can't stop robbing banks.
Yeah.
And then finally it ends in like a really fun way. The only reason I do want to talk about it's very good. Check it out.
Oh, so I've seen it.
Oh, have you seen it?
I saw this, when I was in. It's like my dad's favorite film.
Oh, man.
So I had to watch this, not like a bunch when I was young, but I have a vague, proper memory of it. The ending's the thing that I remember the most.
Yeah.
Which we won't spoil.
We won't spoil.
Yeah.
Well, it is 60 years old, but
maybe
it's a solid one.
Should we spoil it? No.
I tell you what, I will spoil.
What a riveting episode!
I will spoil this though.
Yeah.
There's a part at the start where they do they're riding a bicycle for a very long time over that song. Have you heard that? Yes, that's it. There's like a 3-minute bit where there's just him and Butch riding around on a bicycle.
No, I quite like that movie. Yeah. Why'd you venture back for that one? Why'd you go back for that one?
I think my dad, we were going through, I think we watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which slaps.
Yeah.
We were like, let's keep it going. Go for it. And then we watched The Sting as well.
Nice.
Have you seen The Sting?
No, I haven't.
Imagine Ocean's 11.
I know how they pull it off.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so you just can't do that.
No, it's not. It's such old-timey logic. Like, we'll build another building. And you're like, okay, well, on my GPS. So they gotta go over there. Yeah.
I'll just throw in 2 new movies that I saw that I did not enjoy. Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother. Most people know what a Jurassic World movie is. I'm not going to bother with a plot synopsis for that.
Yeah.
Hated it. Was very upset by it.
Do you think we would have...
Felt robbed.
We were planning to do the episode.
I think we still can.
Oh, okay, fine.
I think we still can.
Yeah.
It's that. it makes such drastically dumb decisions creatively that I think it's a real... Oh, look at you. You really went there. It's just not good.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I feel like we probably should. I feel like we watched 2 out of the 5 Jurassic Parks.
Yeah. Have you seen the second one? Of the Worlds?
No,
Right.
I never saw that one.
I don't think you need to.
No, it didn't. It looked.
Doesn't set up anything to do with all the locusts.
Oh damn! Well, I hope the locusts come back into it.
The other one I watched that I thought I was going to enjoy a lot more, and I didn't, and that was Lightyear,
Oh yeah.
which is Pixar's new movie. It's genuinely quite a dull and boring film.
Is it not a bit harrowing? I sort of just wanted to explain the topic.
I don't think it is.
What happens?
It's just like it's like he gets caught into like the beginning's good, but it's also just basically redoing up. It's like, what if this guy just kept on, it's Kid Interstellar without any of like the intelligence or frankly the scope. It feels like such a small movie. There's only like 6 people in the film.
Mm-hmm.
The action's very like small scale. It looks really good, but I think a real issue with Pixar at the moment, because I had a bit of a Pixar phase while I was gone. So I watched like Finding Nemo, Inside Out, Coco, Ratatouille. Stuff like that.
Still your fave?
I mean, it's about cooking. I don't understand what the rat can cook. But I think what's good about the original movies, even The Incredibles as well, is they were like, okay, what's a story that you can like only do with animation?
Yeah.
It's like Inside Out is like, okay, well, that's like inside a person's head. What would that world look like? What would the emotions look like? How would you even do this if you were like, do this as a live action movie, right? I think an issue with their latest crop of movies, which is like Luca, Turning Red, and Lightyear, is that I think they could all just be movies shot with people.
Do you reckon? I mean, Luca. Yeah. Turning Red. I've not seen Turning Red. People love.
I like Turning Red, but I don't feel like the Pixar magic's there.
Oh yeah.
Soul is the one where I'm like seeing what their version of the afterlife is was really good. But again, these are all very.
I think we just saw that. What kid's watching Soul?
I know. Right? Yeah. What kid needs to be inspired right now? It was just for me.
Yeah.
And you know what I did? I picked up a microphone
and
then went on holiday for 6 months. No, so I'm keen for them to do some new stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got Inside Out 2 coming out, but I'm quite keen for their. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about a kid that gets beamed up into the intergalactic space syndicate, and they're just like, oh, you're the representative of Earth.
Oh, that's fun.
And he's just like the leader of Earth, like
Mad.
all of a sudden, when he's taken. And I'm like, well, that sounds like that's ripe for like. Animation. And they've got another one which I think is called Elemental. I can't remember if that's a Disney animation. I think it's Pixar.
Is that the one with elements? Am I crazy?
Yeah, and it's like a fire person falls in love with a water girl.
Yeah.
And it's like they've got different sides of the city. I hope it's West Side Story, but with flames and water.
It's Zootopia, but with elements, and West Side Story.
Yeah, probably.
The fire goes up the fire hydrant, and the water goes through the water hydrant. Oh, that's a lot of fun
God,
stuff.
Zootopia's great. I think if they need... I got Disneyland out on my trip. But when they get a Zootopia land going, I'll be there, baby.
Oh, God. I wish they could shrink you down to like a little mouse. And you go through the pipes.
Hey, they try their best in that Ratatouille ride. I was scampering around that kitchen, trying to escape those knives.
That was just the cafe, Carl. You got to stop bursting into the cafe.
If I want to put my fingers in a pie, I should be allowed. Okay? What's so wrong with that?
Do you want a bad one or a good one?
Oh, give me a good one, because I just talked about some things I didn't like.
Okay, I feel like you've discussed this on the podcast. I can't remember we've discussed this, but I watched After Hours, the Martin Scorsese film.
Oh yeah.
Terrific.
Phenomenal,
oh my God.
Isn't it?
Oh
just
my God.
So good.
I don't know what genre that is, but just dude that's fucking up and just keeps like a snowball.
Bumbling,
I guess a snowball genre just keeps fucking up. The plot of After Hours is he's just on a night out and things just keep getting bad. Oh, he wants to fuck and he doesn't want to fuck. He wants to go home. It's just a lot of fun stuff. I just think, yeah, go Martin Scorsese.
I can do it all, can't he?
That God, why are people praising Taxi Driver? How is this not the?
Oh,
film?
It's better than Taxi Driver.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, yeah. Martin Scorsese's just like, he can do, because that's very funny film.
It is very funny.
Like, I'm surprised that lead doesn't do more. because his comedic timing and performance is phenomenal.
I think you were mentioning he wrote the Nicolas Cage one.
Vampire's Kiss.
Yeah.
And doesn't that make...
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I wish we were... Yeah.
Like, if Vampire's Kiss was handled by a director that was as skilled as Martin Scorsese, it would be even better.
So much better.
Because it's there. The ludicrousness is there.
And it's still kind of good, but it is just a bit silly. Like, I feel like it's fallen into that, like, you gotta watch it because it's silly.
And its pacing's way off. That's the thing where you're like, oh, is this a bad movie? Because, like, nothing's happening. And then it goes, like, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, Nicolas Cage is doing this fun, goofy performance. But if he was at the level of the lead of After Hours, then it would, like, work.
Exactly.
Right? Somebody was like, you know what, Nicholas, we're going to rein it in and do the performance of your career.
Oh, but imagine that, like, because I remember there's one scene in that where he, like, makes someone check all the files.
Yeah.
And if he
it's like Alva.
Yeah.
It's just like, check all the files, Alva.
And he's been like over the top and it's funny, but imagine if he was a bit like toned down, how fucking it. Check all the files. Like, that's great. After Hours is fun. Go, Martin.
After Hours is so good. And it's nice to know that Martin Scorsese put Cheech and Chong in a film.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
Which is the...
There's a bunch of cameos in there.
Yeah, there are.
I can't remember the evil, like, sort of person who was, like, looking through the street, the neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
She was famous. I can't remember who she was. But yeah, Cheech and Chong.
Is she the one that's in Schitt's Creek now?
Yes, it is. Yes,
she's fantastic.
She's
so
very
funny.
good in that.
I'm pretty sure even the guy that owns the bar...
He's someone famous.
Somebody.
There's like each time you go,
it's you. But I just love that, like, Martin Scorsese was like, I just want Cheech and Chong in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if the script called for Cheech and Chong, or Martin was like, let's get Cheech and Chong.
I guess he was smoking a fat dude, listening to the Cheech and Chong record, and was like, get him in the film. I've just made Taxi Driver. I can do what I want.
Because it's like... The Cheech and Chong cameo excited me more than, like, an Avengers cameo. Like, where you're like, oh, this person came back. You're like, Cheech and Chong's in this. I haven't seen Cheech and Chong in years. What are they doing back in this film? I'm going to do another good one.
Hit me.
I'm going to rain on your parade. I watched Glen Ross.
Great name.
Yeah.
Starting off.
Yeah, which is a stacked cast. It was turned from a play into a movie. It's only 100 minutes, and I watched this because Damien Chazelle was like, I wanted, like, my film to be like the energy of Glen Ross.
Wait, Whiplash or this new one coming out?
Whiplash.
Gotcha.
So I'll give you a little plot synopsis. When an office full of New York City real estate salesmen is given the news that all but the top two will be fired at the end of the week, the atmosphere begins to heat up. Shelley Levine, who has a sick daughter, does everything in his power to get better leads from his boss, John Williamson, but to no avail. When his co-worker Dave Moss comes up with a plan to steal the leads, things get complicated for the tough-talking salesman.
Fun. So it's like real estate agents trying to, like, battle out to be the best.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is the cast. Al Pacino.
Sick.
Jack Lemmon.
Yep.
Alec Baldwin. Alan Arkin, Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey, Jonathan Pryce.
Jesus.
Right?
It's a big cast.
Such a good... And it's just like one of those things where you're like, it's tense somehow, but it's just they're just talking about, like, how to close a sale, what you should be doing right now to hustle. It was just like, you're like, man, this is like an engrossing movie. It's like raining like the entire time sort of thing. So it feels like really claustrophobic. And people are coming in and out of the movie. Like,
where's it kind of set? Like, are they doing like open houses or are they in like...
It's literally just set basically in the office.
Gotcha.
When they're like, we have the leads.
Yeah.
And they're just like, but you have to, it's where Coffee is for Closers is from.
Oh, yeah.
It's like somebody's like getting himself a coffee and like Alec Baldwin's like, what the fuck are you doing? Coffee is for closers.
That is a good
Boss
bit.
Baby does cookies. Cookies is for closers.
Because it's Alec Baldwin too.
It's Alec Baldwin.
Well, actually, it's the other way around. But, they took that off Boss Baby.
Yeah.
It's clever.
It is clever. Let's go and go. I think you'd like that one.
I think I really would.
It's really well written. I think it was nominated or won the Oscar for writing. One of those ones where you're like, man, they really relished their dialogue.
Yeah.
And fast talking. And you've got...
Well, it seemed like with Whiplash, because Whiplash I feel set in like 4 locations. It's not like a dig at Whiplash, but it is like, we've got the school. I think there's like some bits with the dates in the home, but like most of it's just like let's chat in some rooms and create some of the most intense shit ever.
Yeah, because it's also like they're doing a sort of dodgy thing, trying to get these people to sign up to these houses or get an investment
Is it kind of like
need.
Wall Street-esque, like they're quite rich and stuff?
Yeah,
cool.
And it's just like this guy, like Jonathan Pryce is like, yeah, I've got to withdraw like my payment, and it's just like Al Pacino just wants to like stall him until the payment's through, so there's just like no sort of thing like refund for it, and it's like that's happening in the center of other stuff going around it. You know when there's like really good writing of like, man, it's so chaotic but focused on this one thing. It's like amping up the tension, cutting between these conversations. Good fun.
Great stuff.
Give me a bad one.
Give me a bad one. I rewatched The Help.
Sure.
Have you watched The Help recently?
No. I've only ever seen it once, which was the year it came out. And I watched it in a caravan.
I think everyone did, and I was like, because it's got like an 8 on IMDb, and I was like, well,
I'm not surprised. That's an IMDb film through and through.
Yeah. It's so strange. There's like 12 different stories. All of them are just, they don't really go anywhere. And I think they're running like, the actual plot itself. Okay, where do I start? Okay. Let's just get into the main thing. All white behind the camera. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
The person who wrote the book was also white and also wrote it because of 9/11.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the joining thing there? Emma Stone?
Yes, you're correct. That's the loan. But essentially, like, the general plot. Like, do you remember how, like, they're like, let's all get together and say how bad the help, what do you call helpees?
What?
What did you
Who
call
talking about? The people that own the help?
Yeah.
It's people. The rich. The elite.
The rich, the elite
Yeah.
are bad.
Yes.
And it's like, we're going to write this book. And I think the main plot is going to be like, oh, once they write that book, they're going to be in trouble. And they're just not.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes nowhere. And then in between that whole story is like 12 different stories that also don't really go anywhere and are just like to the extreme of racism. Just like, look how bad the KKK are. And you're like, yes, we know that. Who would disagree with that? I don't know if I can play myself. I think you need to rewatch it. It's very...
I don't really want to.
No. I'm annoyed.
I remember Viola Davis crying because I think kids are being taken away.
Yes.
Like the kids she looks after.
The acting's terrific. I think that's the thing. And and those little moments are great. But the problem is they film like palm cards that have been put on like a big wall and they're gone, right, everything bad in the 60s, go. And they've just gone through, let's just go through all of those.
Right.
With no real like through line, really.
No real through line.
I mean, one is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Is it that long?
Yeah, I was that surprised when I was
Is Emma Stone the main character or not?
It is a bit bad. She's kind of the...
I'll help.
Yeah.
I'll help the help.
That's how... Oh my God.
The help referred to her.
Back 5 stars. It's so good.
And then I also remember somebody shitting in a pie.
Yeah,
and
that's
just
a great bit.
Eat my shit.
It's a great bit.
Yeah.
You can't fault that.
Well, she got an Oscar for it.
She did, yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Who directed it?
The guy directed Ma.
Oh. Yeah, he's
Wait, no, that can't be right.
I think you're right.
I
think it is the guy that directed Ma.
Wow. Yeah, he's kind of like a...
He also did The Little Things, which was not good. And I think he's done that new Stephen King movie with like Donald Sutherland and the kid from It.
I think he's gotten very lucky with The Help because it was sort of like...
Do you reckon he had some help behind the scenes?
Oh my God, yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it turned out he was racist because he was using The Help to help make The Help?
I wouldn't be surprised. It is a very white... Like, I looked through the IMDb pictures, all white cast. Crew.
All white crew?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The poster's yellow.
Yeah.
I watched Lake Mungo, which is a lot of people consider this one of the scariest movies ever made.
Nice.
Which is why I was like, I'm gonna give this a little watch and put my hat in the ring.
When you say scariest, is it like not like Holocaust cannibalism, like one of those? Is it like a proper?
No, it's pretty haunting.
Yeah, gotcha.
Pretty.
So that is like
unsettling.
It's like,
yeah. Shocked to find out it was Australian, and nice. I was like, little win for us.
Yep.
It was done as a fake documentary.
Mad.
Produced by SBS, who had to take it off because people kept thinking it was real.
Oh, I love that.
It's like a weird, like, it's probably like the most David Lynch thing I've seen that isn't David Lynch. It's
Keep on that tangent. I've got a movie coming up.
Yeah, it's very like there's some like sort of some stilted acting, but it also kind of comes off as like
Genuine.
Like it's like
is it trying to be like taken as a documentary?
Yeah, it's just like, look, this is like a documentary we made. It's like this guy's like, look, I have made a documentary about this sort of trauma. It's like this girl has drowned in a lake, and then decided to interview the family because the family's like, we think some weird things are sort of happening around the house, and then sort of peels back some layers about you don't really know who like your daughter like is or what she's feeling or how you should be dealing with grief right now.
Yeah.
And then it just has some like haunting imagery and it's so slow and only like 90 minutes. So creative. And then like it all like really comes together at the end where you're like, oh, that's so upsetting. It's like, yeah, it's one of those like weird twists between like a drama and like but it's like a found footage, not mockumentary horror.
Gotcha.
Really like orchestrating within its own little realm.
Oh, its own set of rules, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess if you are doing like a found footage that's like not paranormal activity,
yeah, because it's
kind of
definitely
make its own rules.
It's definitely not trying to be like, I'm gonna scare the audience or anything like that. It's just like, what if I wrote a documentary that was like a weird case and it had some supernatural elements, but was also really sad and just sort of about like suburbia Australia as well. Just like things where you were just like, well, what if I just wrote a documentary and I wanted it to be really enthralling and you're like, oh.
I'm surprised we haven't got more. We got like Wolf Creek, but I feel like sometimes our like landscape is terrifying. Where's it sort of set? Like, is it sort of country or is it sort of like?
Yeah, it's sort of set in like a dry suburbia.
Gotcha.
That's like very good reviews from people.
Nice.
And then the director never did anything again.
Really?
Refuses to do interviews because the movie's had such a big resurgence. People are constantly like, a magazine's just like, we tried to follow up because like Mungo's found a huge new success on Amazon and stuff. Can't find him. Doesn't want to talk.
Wow.
Won't reply. Anything like that. So
do you think like that guy could be just doing IT?
Yeah, or
for
something
Telstra.
like that. Yeah. It's just like, because it's just like, I don't think it must have been before its time. I have no idea. I don't know where this movie came from. And I was like, oh, I thought that was good. And now I think it's great now that time has passed. It's just grown on me in my mind. So, yeah, that's out there for people that would like to seek out something Australian. That is good.
Nice.
Different and slow, but good.
I didn't watch a David Lynch film. But I have only watched... No, I still haven't watched a David Lynch film, but this is what I think that this is going to be a David Lynch... This is what I think David Lynch films are. I watched True Stories. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I thought you were going to say Bullet Train.
Is that not... Okay.
Very David Lynch.
This is so Lynchian. When Brad Pitt's on the train,
Aaron Taylor Johnson's very Lynchy.
Oh, he's screaming Lynchy.
No, what is True Stories? Fill me in with a plot.
Okay, hit me out. Do you like the Talking Heads? The band?
Yes.
Nice. The main guy was like, hey, I'm going to make a movie.
Love it when a musician's like, I'm going to do it.
He fucking nails it.
What?
Nails it. This film is such a nice, strange, like, dream. And when I say David Lynch, again, I haven't seen any David Lynch. I've seen 2 episodes of Twin Peaks, and it freaked me out. No, I just fell off. But
you're like, not Laura Palmer.
Oh, yuck, she's dead. That's the plot, right?
Sorry, no, she's a twin.
Wow.
Of a peak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks. I just got that.
Yeah.
I just got that.
Yeah.
True Stories is sort of a semi. Ooh, how would I describe a plot? Essentially, it's sort of like a bit vignette-y. There's 5 songs in it, and it's pretty much the main guy from the Talking Heads is in like a Cadillac and a cowboy suit in the middle of Texas, just going around, sort of vibing out with the people.
Mm-hmm. That's it? Oh, okay, sorry.
John Goodman is kind of the main character. Yeah, now you're it.
No, from the Big Lebowski.
Yes, he's in it. He's just trying to find love. There's a couple other stories in there. I cannot tell you how beautiful this film looks. One of the most nicest aesthetics. Like, I guess...
Show me a frame.
I guess Edward Scissorhands-esque.
Oh, really? It's like kitsch and
Yes,
bright and
very
vibrant.
kitsch.
Yeah.
But like it's like middle of America, so you're kind of like.
How'd you fall into this film?
I was looking on Letterboxd, and you know how they've got like a bunch of like the problem with like is even most popular is pretty like
You've seen them.
you've seen them, and the highest rated. Yes, they are terrific films, but my God, you're never in the mood to watch like a 5 hour. Like they do seem great, and I feel like every single one I've watched is like, wow, that's a film. But you're never in the mood.
They're always long.
Yeah.
They're always so long.
And it's so hard. I can't
And you
get
can never find them. They're not on anything.
That's the problem. And I will say this about Australia. I think we get like an absolute like free like Americans have got like Criterion, all their good stuff. I have to illegally stream every nice film and all the dreadful films I pay for.
I know. So many of them are just like, you didn't buy this on film for your at-home projector, then you don't get to come and see. Like, it's like, oh.
There's so many films out there. I'm like, oh, fuck, I would love to see that. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so this was on the Letterboxd, like, I think Talking Heads, all their what's it called? Live concerts are kind of like top of Letterboxd because you know how it's like.
Yeah, I have seen one and it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
a great concert.
So I like Talking Heads. I was like vibing to the songs, and then I saw he'd done this. And I was like, that's not like a live concert. I was like, it's a movie, and I sort of checked it out. It's got a pretty high review. It's just I think it's the best part about the film that I think is just sort of its philosophy, if that makes sense. It's sort of goes in. It's like this is like quiet town, and essentially like kind of the big is like there's a big company opening up that wants to take over the town. And you kind of think it's gonna be like really negative, like big business, and it's not. This man, the guy from Talking Heads, just driving around, just like look at the beauty in the world, and it's just that for 90 minutes. It's beautiful. I'm not selling it at all because it's such a strange film for 90 minutes. But
who wrote it? Did he write it?
I think he wrote it. I've never seen anything like it.
Does it have a lot of dialogue, or is it just?
It's got a bit of dialogue. I couldn't tell you the plot really. I couldn't retell you. It's got 5 musical numbers. It's got maybe. I feel like John Goodman gets a good, strong, character arc, and then a bunch. There's probably 4 others that get sort of like a bit of a thing.
Were they true stories?
I don't know how to describe this, Carl. I love it though, and I can't stress to you like there are some beautiful.
Wow, this guy was a writer. He's only ever written 3 things, and then he acts all the other time. You know this actor?
Yeah, him. What's he in?
He wrote it.
He wrote it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell them the name because we can't just like.
Oh, sorry, Stephen Tobolsky.
Yes.
Stephen Tobolsky. He's in so many things. He's always funny. I mainly know him from Silicon Valley. He was in Silicon Valley for quite a while. The last person I expected to have written this movie I did not know existed.
Oh, it's just beautiful. You gotta check it out.
What'd you watch it on?
I illegally streamed it. Okay. Because we cannot find it anywhere in Australia. I was this tempted to sign up for Mubi. Have you heard of Mubi?
No.
I wish we had a sponsorship for Mubi. How good would that be? Blend into
it.
Mubi?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's still stuff and the stuff I wanted wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think
it's trying to be Criterion from over there, but like still Australia's like, no, that movie doesn't exist here.
No, I think it's frustrating. There's so many movies we just literally cannot watch. And it's like what I will happily pay. Like put every film on like iTunes and I'll be able to pay $4. I'm happy to do that. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Oh well.
No.
Yeah, I'd happily pay for all of them.
Yeah.
Or rent them for the 24-hour period or whatever.
Yeah.
If they just gave me a fucking chance.
Yeah, literally.
Why do you hate me? I saw Bodies.
Oh, yes. Look how topical we are. That's right. We're not pre-recording these.
Yeah.
That looks great.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Very good. Would highly recommend. It's under 90 minutes long. Moves at such a fast pace. Is mainly lit by phones.
Cool.
So once the lights go out, really cool lighting styles and choices it makes. Like they've just got neon necklaces on and they're walking around with their phones on flash.
Great.
Like really cool. Everybody in it's awesome. It has a stacked cast of up and comers.
It does.
Everybody should be a star, and Pete Davidson's a lot of fun in it too. It's also weird. I think they've either put makeup on him or digitally removed all of his tattoos.
They have makeup. I've seen.
They've done makeup on him.
Him.
Wasn't expecting that. Was confused and thought maybe he didn't actually have tattoos and just had them for the King of Staten Island. And I was like, no, but I think Pete Davidson's thing is...
he has tattoos.
He has tattoos.
That's his thing. Everyone knows that's his thing.
Yeah. look, if you don't know the plot of Buddies, it's essentially Mafia or Werewolf, if you've ever played those drinking games, or not even drinking games, but they're essentially playing that one night, and then the lights go out and somebody actually dies, and they're like, it's actually happening. And it's just in like their group of friends.
That's a great hook.
It's a great hook.
And I assume it's a comedy. There's a lot of comedy.
Really funny. And it's basically like they're all these different sort of personifications of different things from
the game, like the actual...
Not from the game, but from the internet. Or almost, I would dare say, a comment section.
Yeah.
So it's like very funny and topical in terms of what it's like discussing about how young people treat each other online. And stuff like that.
Oh, clever.
So really clever, very funny, just so fast paced. So fast paced. I saw it with a packed crowd at a film festival, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is a lot of fun."
Nice.
So I would really highly recommend that. I also think they mismarketed it. It seemed more like the trailer does not sell you on how normal the film is. Gotcha. It's probably one of the most normal A24 films I've ever seen.
Did it come as wacky? Too wacky for general audiences?
I don't think it's that wacky. It's just like a really funny...
No, the trailer.
Well, the trailer's just doing one of those like... and it's just like, you know, joke. And then it's just like... We'll watch the trailer after. It's just like, I don't think that's actually an accurate representation of what that movie is about or like. So, Buddies. We'll watch it.
Check it out. Oh, I don't think I have the intelligence to talk about it, but fuck it. The worst person in the world. Oh my God. Damn.
Incredible, right?
Incredible, yeah.
Love
really
that
good.
movie. Yeah.
It's definitely saying something, but oh my God, I just...
It's very funny.
Yeah.
And very like... I feel like it's just like such a... perfect for our age demographic, right? Like that 20 to 30 sort of demo. Yeah. That's just like...
Are you a bit lost in life? Guess what?
Yeah, guess what? Everybody is.
Yeah.
And everyone hates each other for it. Like, yeah.
You look stable? Fuck you. How about that?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Lot of creative stuff. I just enjoy... I can't even like really put into words.
It's what I think is the new... and a better 500 Days of Summer.
Oh yeah, I'd go with that.
I would say in terms of, it's like, look, we're doing things that are like creative. There's also sort of a centralized romance, but it's
preferred
not.
It way more. I mean,
Same.
I feel like...
I thought it was way better than 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, I think 500 Days of Summer have been a bit romanticized.
Yeah. I also thought it was like a better Amelie, if you've ever seen Amelie.
No, I've not seen Amelie.
Yeah.
Is it because is it international?
Too French and colourful. No, I thought The Worst Person was fantastic.
Yeah.
And just so fun. I don't know. Did you watch it on your own?
I did.
Yeah. I don't know how, like, I saw that in a cinema and it was just like good atmosphere. So everyone was like finding it really funny and finding the sad moments really sad and stuff like that.
When you said like it was funny, I'm like, I was kind of sad for most of it. I was
were you?
Well, there was a bit, I mean, maybe just alone, but like maybe some of the comedy went over my head. I'm trying to think of some of the like...
There's a bit where it's like she can't decide what she's like studying at the beginning, and then she like hates the kids as well, and it's like she doesn't like that relationship, and then basically it's worth watching because the movie's cut in segments, and there's like a segment that's like almost cheating, and I think that's a phenomenal segment.
That's probably my fell in love with that man.
Yeah.
Oh my God damn.
It's pretty incredible where you're like,
I feel it's so stupid. I was like, well, he's gone forever. And he comes back.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, really well done. And then I also think they do a pretty good job at them being like, but do you kind of like the other guy? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cancel will help that. We're just spoiling the movie completely.
Yeah. So I'm going to end our conversation on a movie we've both seen. Let's end it on Nope.
Oh, okay, tight.
That's fun, right?
Yes.
That's a bit of fun.
Yes.
Okay, you go... General thoughts.
I enjoyed it, I think, because I'd had my expectations shot down. Like, everyone I talked to was a bit like, it's great, just know it's not... I had someone from work kind of poo-poo it, and I was like, cool, okay, I'll go in with a bit of, like, cautious. And I loved it. I thought it was really good. Love the monkey. Love all the monkey stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff is great.
Yeah.
I liked the alien design.
Yeah.
Liked a lot of stuff. I liked the sort of general setting, I think.
Mm.
There's a lot I like.
Yeah.
And I think also what it's trying to say, I didn't completely get at the start. I think after reading a lot of Saw reviews going, wow, that is clever. Loving that. Don't know why I don't completely love it then. There's a lot of stuff I do like, but go on.
I'm the same. I think I love it.
Yeah.
But I do think it doesn't come together in like as a cleaner way as it could.
Yeah.
I also think it kind of gets stuck on like, I think that movie peaks in the middle. There is like, I genuinely think as like a horror director, this is like his most like scary, not scary, but like, you know, like terrifying.
Yeah, visceral. It's like, yeah.
And then it like even peaks with like this awesome imagery of like blood flowing down the roof of the house and stuff. Like it's, and it
How simple are those bed sheets essentially?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
awesome.
terrific.
It just does. And then, but even that reveal when it does that is a great payoff to things you didn't realize were happening before in terms of like, why is the spaceship making this sound?
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, there's just like, it actually has so many good things.
And that was kind of my thing. I was kind of like, I left, I'm like, that had a lot of good things. I just don't know why it hasn't all gelled together. I don't know what is holding it back from like really clicking into place.
So I think the thing is, I think Jordan Peele is like, I do think he's like an intelligent filmmaker. I think this is like so well directed.
Yeah.
I think he is juggling too much. And one of the things, if I could take out a ball from like him juggling all these interesting concepts, ideas, themes, everything, is I think him wanting to do like a pseudo Western. I want to like take that out because I think the stuff that's like, I think the ranch setting's awesome, but I think him wanting to have like these Western iconographies of like, you know, when the dust settles at the end and he's there on his Western horse and it's like, Daniel Kaluuya has a very stoic, silent character that would be in a Western. And there's also the concept of the, what's it called? Like the first film is of a black man on a horse, and it's like they usually use the horse in Western movies. Like I think there's just like this whole sort of like undercurrent of like a modern day Western in it. It's like he's kind of trying to wrangle an alien. Yeah. That I don't think needs to be in it.
I didn't even pick up on that, but that's totally, I completely get that. That's interesting.
Because that's what the third act turns into like,
yeah,
Western, right? And he's trying to wrangle in it. But I'm like, well, I was kind of enjoying the horror sci-fi film that you'd set up.
100%. That last bit, the action is like, this feels not undeserving. I'm just like, why have you chosen
it almost
this
works,
last
but
bit?
it's tonally off.
Yeah.
I think.
I feel like you nailed it with that terrifying sucky thing. I'm like, oh.
So good.
And I will admit, I'm a little bit confused with the don't look aspect of it right at the end. I feel like when they were driving with the motorbikes, TMZ bit got me. That was great.
Yeah, hilarious. I think also Logan Paul not getting the movie is hilarious.
What, was he not meant to be in the movie? What?
No, he doesn't. Have you seen his Twitter thing where he was like, nope, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. I don't even get the film. And he has like a bit by bit as to what the things he doesn't get, and everyone's like, it's about you.
It felt weird as well. I sort of had a little look up because it's only like 5 characters. The girl from Euphoria is in it for like a scene.
Who is she in that? Because I don't watch.
Oh, you don't watch Euphoria? She's Kat. Who's left Euphoria because she's had conflict.
Yeah, but which character is she in?
She's Kat.
No, in Nope.
Oh, in Nope, she's just the other girl who works at the
her.
tech store. Yeah. And
but
like
she doesn't even have a line, does she?
She has a line. She has a line. So I was like, kind of like, what have they cut? Because she seemed to have like a pretty solid. Like she was promoting the movie.
Yeah.
So she must have.
Was she?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she
must have been annoyed.
Yeah, they must have cut. So I would love to see like.
Because there's also they cut the stalker plot of the guy that shoots the monkey.
Really?
Yes, who was stalking the girl.
Gotcha.
And happens to be there and kills the monkey. Because there's shots of that in the trailer of him walking around the world.
I think that's the thing. Maybe they've like reined him in a bit.
Yeah. I love the monkey thing as well. And I actually think he does a really good job weaving it into this plot.
It does.
But a piece of me also thinks he came up with it and was like, that would be awesome in a movie. And put it in this one.
Yeah.
Like I think it works, and I think
it does feel a bit shoved in.
Yeah.
I think
it pays off well and everything.
Don't like
it's all there.
Yeah.
If you could see me talking about the movie, I'm actually I really love the movie.
I can't put my...
I can't... that doesn't want me to love it as much. I'm like,
I'm seeing people with like 5-star reviews, like, it's perfect. I'm like, am I missing something? Like, I don't know what, like, you were like, that's like a perfect experience movie-wise.
It's my favorite of his 3.
Yeah.
Personally. The marketing campaign really ruined Get Out for me, so I don't have a lot of fun with that film as some others. And I think Us is creative but messy and maybe a bit too silly.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the perfect medium and also just so creative.
Yeah, definitely.
So creative.
The alien design. Can we talk about it? It's a little hat, but it's not.
Oh, okay. Well, spoilers. The concept of a UFO being misconstrued, like, and just being like, what if through history we were thinking these were UFOs, but they just were the alien, is such a good concept. And I did not pick it until until the movie wants you to pick it.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I was like, fantastic.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like, I'm no scientist, but that feels like a way better explanation than a UFO.
Oh, absolutely. Don't you reckon?
Yeah.
It's also just like one of those things where I think it's, it does like, it just makes the sky so eerie in the movie.
But like the nighttime stuff, like, yeah, it's scary because it's nighttime, but the day, you're like, just clouds.
It's
like
just how like that cloud hasn't moved.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like,
I'd love to go back and watch it because I reckon like half.
I'm sure the detail is there to be like, it's all paying off.
Yeah.
But then to pay off the screams, where you're like, is it, because you're like, oh, it is mechanical because you think you're hearing it move, right? But it just turns it's the screams of what's digesting in it, whether that's a human, a horse, other animals, like... So good.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Like, it really... The idea of dying in that alien scared me, and it made it feel so claustrophobic in that movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, then you're rubbing up against, like, other dead things that haven't digested fully.
And it's, like, acidic.
Yeah.
And you're alive while you die.
Yeah.
And especially because there's that, like, haunting implication of it's, like, a family place. So it's mostly kids and parents that get killed in that scene.
For days.
Yeah, for like an elongated amount of time.
Yeah.
It's just like...
And it's so... like, it's just like fucking... It's just some bed sheets. Like, you can just... Oh, love it.
So well done. Especially because I think that movie is like gorgeously wide and cinematic.
Yeah.
So for them to just be like... These close up with these like throat sheet things. Like, so good. I also think the way the spaceship moves is so well realized. Like, it just moves so quick. Like, it is a hunter.
Slows down.
Right?
Yeah. Am I remembering this right? Were there chapter bits for each one?
Yes. And so it's one of those things where you're watching it and you're like, why is it chapters? And then you realize it's each animal that dies in the chapter.
Gotcha. Is that because it's horse?
So it's the 2 horses' names.
Yeah.
Or 3 horses' names, I think.
Yeah.
And then Gertie.
Monkey.
And that's the segment he gets shot.
Yeah.
Then I think it's another horse. And then Jean Jacket, that's the alien.
Gotcha.
And that's what it's sort of cut in. Which I thought was like... I wasn't sort of getting. And then I thought when I left, it's potentially a good way to just be like, to sort of hammer home that it's all about animals.
Yeah.
Or like hunters and prey and things like that. Just to be like, look, it was there from the beginning. I thought, because I was like, oh, why didn't I see this thing coming? Yeah. The whole movie was about fucking animals and creatures and yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I genuinely really liked it.
What did you give it?
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Can you like, because I'm struggling. What's that 1 star? Like, where
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I really liked it. I would love to see just more of, just one like, I think Jordan Peele's like a good writer, but I would love for like, but I think I'm sure he's buckling under the weight of everybody being like, you're the new genius in horror.
Oh, God, yeah.
And so he's like, it's always got to be elevated, interesting, have maybe a social commentary, but then it's also got to be grand and thrilling.
And then also entertaining for general audiences.
Yeah, and then he just must be like, well, I just want to make this like one thing, but I'm so popular as a name, like in terms of...
Like, that's the thing, you've got like the
Jordan Peele's the reason you go and watch Nope, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, not many directors have that clout anymore.
No.
And so you want to hold on to that. Yeah, you have to use that. You can't just give that up. If you're like...
It's ironic, you think you have that freedom and then like really...
Is it constrain you more? Because I think it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, maybe it would be good if you had like... somebody else. I know his name got floated for Akira. Have you ever seen Akira?
No, I've been meaning to. I mean, it happens at a cinema close to here.
Yeah.
And I want to see it in cinema.
I would love to watch that again. It's not what the movie I thought that was going to be, but Jordan Peele would be good for that. No. And I think other people have said that.
Yeah.
I'm not special for saying that.
You're nothing.
I'm not the first person to say that.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Next week, we're going to figure it out, okay? I'll be honest.
We don't know.
This was stalling.
This is give us a gimme.
Yeah.
Give us a gimme.
Oh my God, hour 20.
Oh, okay. Well, you can cut. Most of that's discussing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel so long ago?
It feels like so long ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to catch up, isn't it? Because this is us just a little cheersy.
Cheers. Hey. We're just catching up. We're just getting back into it, getting back into the actual audio stuff and like that. Check out next week. It's not professional. We're just vibing out. We'll have a movie. You
That's right. You can watch it. You can not. You can listen, or you can not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up to you, man.
It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Huh? Get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Stay safe. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.